Hello, it's Sherry Truler with Red Apple Auctions talking to you today about Groundhog Day Blasé, which is when your gala guests are going to start reliving last year's benefit auction. It all starts to look the same when they walk into the room. And this started because in a couple of days here in the United States, we're going to be celebrating Groundhog Day. And for those of you watching from overseas going, what the heck is that holiday? You can go online and look it up and read about it. But more or less, it's when up in Pennsylvania, a small town, Punxsutawney, there is a groundhog that they pull out of its den. He lives in a pen up there. And if the groundhog sees his shadow, then we have 6 more weeks of winter. And if he does not, then spring is on its way. And so I didn't have any real pictures of groundhogs, also known as woodchucks, by the way. Didn't have any real photos of those, but I did have a picture of me from 1994 when I was living in Australia. This is me holding a wombat, which to me looks sort of like a groundhog or a woodchuck. Big boy, big girl. It's a girl maybe. So that's the closest I had. But Groundhog Day also has come to mean this movie, because back in 1993 there was a movie in the United States with Bill Murray and Andie MacDowell called Groundhog Day. And in that movie, Bill Murray was a bit of a self-centered weatherman, and he was sent up to Punxsutawney to report on Groundhog Day. And when he went to bed that night, he woke up the next morning and it was the same day. He was reliving Groundhog Day again and again and again and again. And being the kind of egocentric guy that he was, at first he used that to his advantage and would be a bit hedonistic in his attempts and pleasures. But after hundreds of days of going through the same day again and again, realizing that he was never going to die, he just kept reliving the same day, he became much more philanthropic in his approach to living. And so the movie, though, when people generally refer to Groundhog Day here in the United States, those that have seen it and so forth, they're talking about reliving the same thing again and again and again and again. And that's what I call Groundhog Day Blasé with your benefit auction, is when everything starts to look and feel the same. And there seems to be 5 areas where you're at greatest risk for this. So I'm going to cover those 5 areas so that you know, ooh, maybe we should be watching out for Groundhog Day Blasé here and keep an eye on it. And I'll give you a couple of ways that you might be able to avoid that from happening here at the end. First is the same live auction items. If you're selling the same live auction items year after year, that's boring to your guests, because chances are your guests are not brand new every year. This is particularly true with school auctions. They seem to be at greater risk for it than nonprofit auctions. I mean, name the lane. There's a lot of items like that. There's fresh items out there. You don't need to sell the same ones again and again and again. Number 2, the same raffle. Get rid of a 50-50, folks. If you've been doing this for years and years on end, everybody knows it. You can make money doing different things. It's probably one of the worst raffles that you can do for your nonprofit. Look elsewhere. Number 3, similar but different, the same raffle pricing. 1 ticket for $5, 6 tickets for $25. Ooh, you get a bonus with this $25 buy. Focus on making more money. Have you had that same ticket price forever? Should you maybe look at revamping that? Should you look at different strategies for your pricing to make more money? There's lots of different elements within that piece alone. So look at that. Number 4, relying on the same game year after year. Heads and Tails is interactive. Great, but there's lots of other games out there. You don't need to be playing the same game every year. Look at ways that you can involve people that isn't the same. Number 5, the same theme. Now, I'm all for having a branded event, meaning that maybe your event is known as, if you call your event, say, the annual fundraising auction for scholarships. Okay, it's kind of a boring name, but if that's your brand, that's okay. But let's make sure, it's not the same invite every year. It's not, maybe you have a theme that changes every year. Maybe the colors change every year. You want to include new games, new raffles, new different live auction items. You want to keep that fresh. Like in my company, right? I do consistent marketing. My tactics might be the same, but I don't send the same postcard out every year. I don't send the same things out every year. I'm constantly updating that, and that's what I would encourage you to look at too, is you can still have a methodology for how you promote things, but you want to change it up. You want to keep it fresh for your guests. So, couple options here. One is free, one isn't. And these are just what I have. I mean, there's other stuff I'm sure out there. First, on the left, if you need new ideas, I give this away for free. RedAppleAuctions.com. When you go to my website, it pops right in your face. You can't get by it without looking at it. what sold like a gem. It's the top 100 items that sold for over value last year. If you're looking for fresh live auction item ideas, it's right there for you, and it's free. Your auction procurement committee will love it. So you can go to redappleauctions.com and download that. The second one is auctiongames.info. That's called my charity auction bells and whistles course, auctiongames.info. Over 22 different games, raffles, and activities that will keep your guests engaged and help you make money. You don't even need to be hosting an auction to use these. You can have a pancake breakfast and incorporate some of these things in there, and it's going to keep it fresh. Adding stuff to it all the time. So that's a good one as well. Auctiongames.info. Check that out. Lots of information on that page to tell you all about that. And of course, even my blog. I've got over 200 posts up there now on my blog that give you ideas to keep things fresh. So don't bore your auction guests. We want to keep this fresh for them. We want to keep it fresh for you. Don't you get bored when you're doing the same thing? I know your volunteers do, because heaven knows I've sat in enough auction committee meetings to talk about new strategies and ideas, and those auction committee members at the end of the evening are like, Sherry, we're so excited about what we're going to be doing this year. So it can happen for you too. Let's make sure that we're not stagnating along the line. I'm Sherry with Red Apple Auctions. Thank you for watching, and as always, good luck to you in your charity auction.